Planet Dolan.
From talking in the hallways to clapping at school assemblies, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the dumbest things our schools have ever banned. I'm Doopy, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Tom Odayama. Being in a Catholic school, Dolan was in 5th grade and his sister was in 7th grade when they learned of the silly things that were banned. There were usual things that were banned like Beyblade cards and handheld games, but the dumbest thing to have been banned happened one winter from a new principal at the time. There was plenty of snow and many kids liked to make snow forts and snowmen, but there were a good amount of troublemakers who would have snowball fights on the school grounds. So the new principal had taken action one day and turned on the speakers to talk to the school. It has come to my attention that there have been many incidents involving snow. Therefore, there are going to be some changes. There will be no more playing with snow, touching of snow, or even standing on snow. I hope that our school grounds will be a safer place for everyone while at school. Standing on snow? Dolan doesn't know how someone bans standing on snow during recess, when the whole grounds are never shoveled. Needless to say, the walk home from school with his sister was full of laughter at how stupid it sounded. Number 9 was submitted by Cape Industries. One time when Snoopy was in 3rd grade, there was a ban on sneezing. At the time, there was a large amount of dust in the school, so whenever the teacher called on her, Snoopy would sneeze 3 times and would get yelled at. They would tell her to leave, but she would tell them to clean the school better because there's a ton of dust just sitting on the desks and nothing is done about it. In the end, Snoopy left the school and, in the next school year, the school was closed due to health code violations. Number 8 was submitted by AnonymousRed. Once, when Tolop was at school, he decided to eat his sweet snacks only. He went and sat on the bench in the field, and after opening his lunch, he pulled out 10 different sweets. When he started eating them, the teacher strolled by and looked over his shoulder. She saw the 4 empty wrappers and looked at the other 6 sweets and said to him, "Haven't you read the new rule in the school diary?" Then she took all his sweets and dumped them in the bin. Tolop was in so much shock that he went up to the school principal and asked him about it. All he had to say was, "I'm sorry, but many parents are blaming us for tooth decay for selling sweets and allowing them at school." He walked away, so Tolop decided not to get angry, but to get even. He went home and planned his revenge. He made 12 batches of cupcakes, but without the sugar and salt. He put a cupcake on almost every teacher's desk with a little note on the bottom of the cupcake paper saying, "Since sweets are banned, I made all the teachers sugarless cupcakes so they aren't sweets anymore. Enjoy!" The ban was lifted and the principal gave Tolop a detention, but also thanked him. Number 7 was submitted by VolitantTooth. Just a few years ago, when Mikhailem was in his senior year of high school, the school started to really crack down on security, following every last law and rule there was. This included the laws of stalking of a minor. In the state where he grew up, it is illegal to take a picture of a person younger than 18 without their direct consent. At certain times of the day, like lunch, students could have their phones out. But as soon as these rules came into play, they had teachers monitoring them at all times. People caught using the camera app, even if accidental, were given detention and even occasionally suspended. Cameras were confiscated immediately, and their memories were wiped. The school photography class was shut down. Not that bad for a normal school, but this school was well renowned around the country for its art program. The strange thing is, it is perfectly legal to take a picture of a minor without consent as long as you yourself are a minor, which almost everyone in the school was. Number 6 was submitted by Fredister Alcatraz. When Emoji was about to leave his primary school, the principal became meaner and unfair. He made a rule that the students couldn't say anything to censor out a swear word like fork or shoot. Emoji thought this was a bit unfair, so he went and talked to the principal.
"We should be allowed to say fork if we get hurt, not if we talk about sex,"
Emoji said. Almost everyone in his school year level agreed with him. The principal said that it was a stupid idea, so Emoji said,
Go fork yourself.
and left the office. To this day, he's still proud of that. Number 5 was submitted by Ermack-Valken. Dolan's brother went to a charter school for most of his young life, so there were a lot of things that were banned from the get-go. He was in 9th grade and the school suddenly started getting stricter. They enforced a rule banning everyone from talking in the hallways between classes. Unfortunately, this was extremely easy to enforce because the school was only one floor and had only one hallway spanning the length of the building. They gave some stupid excuse like students should be on their best behavior during school hours, as if they thought taking away their only time to socialize besides lunchtime would make them behave better. You can probably guess why mostly every student became a jerk after that. Number 4 was submitted by TheAuCalledMeh. Hellbent's Middle School banned the red pen. If a red pen was used, students would get suspended from school. It all started with one kid, Nixium, telling his parents that he did not like the red pin marks that the teachers did on their tests or classwork. So one day, the parents went to the school and talked to the teachers and principal about the red pins. The next day, red pins were banned. No one, not even the teachers, could use a red pen. Instead, everyone had to use a black or blue pen. Number 3 was submitted by BeverageGaming. Animations was in 3rd grade when a stupid new principal entered her school. Now everyone thinks a new principal should be cool and stuff, but this one sucked. She literally took away clapping at assemblies because she said it was too loud. Everyone had to do this stupid jazz hand thing. Probably the worst, though, is that she took away the game tag. Andy was so mad, and literally all they did was throw balls at each other from that day forward. But then they got a new principal who was a guy and was so swag. Andy and the other students can do whatever they want now. Number 2 was submitted by TigerFlame703. So in Legna's middle school, hugs and high fives were banned. The reason was because it would make other people feel like they were not included. In Legna's opinion, it was the dumbest thing he has ever heard because it sounded like they were trying to say that if you hug one person, you had to hug everyone else, whether you knew them or not. Number 1 was submitted by me. When I was in middle school, touching any other student was banned, absolutely prohibited. If you did something so much as rub your arm against another student, by accident or not, you would get a warning before you got suspended. And it was awful. You also couldn't wear earrings at all. You couldn't wear earrings. And they really didn't have a reason for any of this. They just said that you couldn't. I kept getting in trouble because I kept getting caught hugging my friends in the hallways, so yeah, it was especially hard for me. Huge thanks to the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the weirdest job you ever got paid to do? Let us know in the Reddit page linked below, and you might be featured in a future countdown. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.